those regional, is it congresses before the close of the week, and also climax over the weekend. And what do you make of some of the permutations? At least we have Adekuka and a couple of others who retain yes. Adekuka retained his seat, yes. He is usually a panelist on the show. So, and the outcomes.
Roland, I don't know them so well, but I do know that most people would not love to change a winning team, especially when you think that they're still working hard. I expected Adekuka to win. Somehow, I don't know, but I just told myself that everyone that Jerry Rawlings supports might not win.
Yeah, sure. It turned out that way.
Yeah, it turned out that way. But I just had this feeling that, you know, there are these divisions within the NDC, and I just felt, no, if this man supported these people are not going to make it, and it turned out that way. I think that so far there have been some new faces as well, which is good. It's good for new faces to come. Maybe they'll come with new ideas and all that. With the regions, normally it's low key. The region that brings out all these hula baloo is Greater Accra because of where it is. But regions normally is just low key. It's the national that will tell us which way the party is going, and I'm waiting for that. Yes.
The outcomes, Abraham.
Oh yes.
As you ready yourself also for your primaries.
Yes, and no, actually we're going for the national elections.
No, I mean you personally, parliamentary.
Oh.
Oh, are you going?
I'm going for the Bolga seat.
Okay.
The point is this, you notice that there were a few bickering before the elections. We'll be able to resolve that through negotiations, out of court settlement. Then we went for the elections. It has been successful largely, except a few places where we still have contestants who have placed injunctions on certain positions. So for instance, in Tamale, the secretaryship has been left until the matter is resolved in court, and I'm told today they will be able to resolve it. So largely it has been peaceful, and some few chairmen have lost their positions. For instance, Central Region lost, Aluto Jacobs is now the new chairman, but as she rightly said, if people are performing and they have been able to deliver the region for the president, there's always a need to keep them. So you don't change winning teams. What I am thinking is that those who have lost should come together and support those who have won. The umbrella is bigger than all our individual interests within the party. So it has been successful. Our next step is to look up to December, where we are likely to fix a date for our National Congress for election of our executives, national executives.
Following the trend, you get to see that those who tend to interact more with the grassroots, the public,
and the media,
etc.
especially.
Yes, they seem to have, or the supporters seem to have some affinity towards them. They seem to think they are the real people who kind of care for us, even though perhaps the resources may not be going to the grassroots people, etc.
Yeah,
why do we have that trend?
If you look at Greater Accra and Central, Aluto Jacob has always been the media limelight, and that might have propelled him. People want to, the constituents want to see people speaking for them. And you may be contributing in other ways, but if you don't appear publicly to defend the party, they feel that something is missing, even though you may be doing well. So I am of the view that what has made somebody like the Greater Accra Adekoka to win, you are right, is because of his public appearance on television, radio, that you would want to see that because he appears on these programs, he's able to articulate the views of the people. And people want to see their elected leaders being heard, being seen. They take pride in that. So I'm sure that might have swayed the elections one way or the other.
How do we make sure that as party representatives, you beyond the subject of articulation, you tend also to work with the grassroots people? Because, for example, I always say you make a very fine member of parliament. Of course, if your constituents should take you on board, etc. Because you have a feeling that you want to be very objective and see to the cause of the constituents. At what point do you need to really get in touch with the grassroots and really also tend to articulate what their concerns are?
You know, Grassroots organization for any political party is very key. But the problem is that in dealing with the grassroots, you must understand the terrain, their culture, and everything. Now, what actually stops some people from doing any of that is that you might come from a certain area, but you're not based there. So it's difficult for them to actually get to know you. So you are talking about the party, about your constituents, about all those things, but from far, from a distance. They are not seeing you. So if you look around, you find that those who are almost always at the center of the constituency are those who get elected. Because you go to the Pitoba, they are there, you go, you visit them, you meet them at the marketplaces and stuff. But then if you're at a distance, nobody seems to see how you're doing it. And grassroots organization is not that easy because of funding as well for some of us political parties. Because
it's expensive?
It's expensive. It's like moving from place to place, getting them, you listen to their problems. And when you're talking about grassroots, they are coming to you with their marital problems, with their school problems and all those things. And you're supposed to be able to do something. Jobs, that, and all that. And if you're not in government, how are you going to do these things? If you don't know anybody, how are you going to do these things? So a lot of the time when you hear that some of these people are losing, it's because the grassroots feel that you have not helped me enough. My life has not changed for the better since you've been there, even though I voted for you. So those are some of the things.
But the real issue too is that the atmosphere needs to be created for the abilities of the people at the grassroots level to come out, or to be in many forms rationalized in a certain way by which they can take advantage of, if it's the skill they have, the investments they want to undertake, so that there's not excessive burden on the elected representatives of the political parties in many respects.
Yeah, I agree with you that one way we can resolve the matter of pressures coming from the grassroots is to, and that's where the corruption issues come in, not to be corrupt, but create a level playing field and to use your influence to ensure that you are able to facilitate your constituents to be able to, because you give the person today, he only eats today, but tomorrow is finished. If you are able to bring development projects, you lobby around as an elected leader and you get partnership, you're able to bring some investment, even if it is getting MTN, which is not at a certain location, to come there, then you begin to get your people to be selling the scratch card. For me, that is even okay.
Providing economic activity. So contributing to their livelihoods.
So we shouldn't just take our election, go and sit at where we are, but let's begin to connect with stakeholders, people in the developmental agenda. That is what is lacking in terms of our ability to create jobs, and also we're always waiting for the central government, and that is not possible. I think that is the situation.
That's a campaign is done there.
Oh.
That very submission. For the people of Boga, we have a lot of viewers in Boga too, so I know. Okay, thank you very much.
Roland, I would like to say something concerning a statement that was made by the MP of Daboya.
Oh, okay. What was the statement about?
The interstate succession law, where he said...
Is he the one who said that adulterous women need to be stoned?
Yes, stoned or hanged.
Oh, I think that was a very bad thing.
I just want to say that it's very primitive, and to ask the women in Daboya to vote out this MP, because he does not deserve to represent the people of Daboya, especially where the hard-working women in that area. We are not living in the dark ages. We are not living in primitive Ghana. We are living in a democratic Ghana, where every woman has a right to choose and select whether he or she wants to stay in a relationship or not. And as such, I think that all women in Daboya, and men who have women at heart, because after all, your mothers are all women, should vote against the MP for Daboya come 2016.
Oh, I love this very submission. Okay, myself too, I was so much incensed when I heard the comments. I was wondering, that was very unparliamentary, right? I mean, you're a public official in many respects.
It came from an informed mind, uninformed mind. The reason is that he didn't appreciate the kind of democracy we are running. If he appreciated that Ghana is a secular state and that we are not ruled by religious laws and that we are not ruled by Mosaic laws or Amrabic laws, he would have understood that that statement was unacceptable. But I'm happy that the kind of responses that his comments have received, I'm sure he will sit down and revise. I also think that Parliament must force him to make a retraction. I think it is not.
But he didn't say it on the floor of Parliament.
Oh, he didn't say it on the floor of Parliament.
He did.
But
I heard it. I heard it.
It was through a phone call, I think, to one of the stations.
But even for whatever it is, once he has brought the image, once he has brought the image of Parliament into disrepute, he can be called upon to do that. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Abraham Amaliba is a member of the NDC. He's also a legal practitioner. You're going to court today?
Yes.
All right. Okay, have a good day. And Rhodalyn Imoro Ayana is a second vice chair of the CPP and Rhoda. Thanks for joining me this morning. We're taking a break. When we come back, we're discussing food safety and fortification with officials of the Food and Drugs Authority. Do stay on. We'll be right back.